Sergeant Slaughter, some of your early memories of Sarge?
Yeah, he never had blue claw crabs until I took him to Baltimore and we had them. Now he's hooked on them. So Sarge and I got along pretty good.
Okay. What was the ring rat situation like back in the early 80s? I don't know if you want to talk about that at all.
The ring what?
The rats scene, what was that?
Oh, blowjob every night.
Really?
Yeah.
Because, today it's not like that as far as like the girls in the business.
Why do you think I quit? No, I don't know. They were just there. They were there. They were nice girls. Like I could get off a plane in Harrisburg, and there'd be one there with a case of beer on ice and the car running, ready to take you to the arena. Already got you checked in at the hotel,
right?
And the next night off to the next town, and there'd be another one there with the same thing. Terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's not a bad lifestyle at all. Going back to Jimmy Snuka, I wanted to ask you, what was your, everyone knows the story and, the allegations against him and what happened with his girlfriend. Were you in the territory at all when that went down or no?
Yes, I was.
What are your thoughts on that whole predicament?
I wasn't there. I don't know,
Right.
So I don't want to rush the judgment on anything.
Right.
Just whatever happened, I hope the truth comes to the surface and the results are what they are. And
what was the vibe in the locker room after everybody heard about it?
Just hush hush. Nobody talked about it.
Okay. From there, you pretty much worked everywhere, from like every territory there was back in the
Couldn't
day.
keep a job.
Yeah. What was your favorite territory to work?
My favorite territory? Well, Florida for the broads. Texas was fun, but it was so far from town to town. But my favorite territory of all time had to be the Carolinas.
Carolinas?
Yeah. I was learning. I was making money. I mean, to be a rookie and in the 70s and making $800, $1,000 a week, driving a new Cadillac, making every town, getting booked, and to go from Eddie Graham beating me in 15 seconds to go on 30 minutes with Rick McGraw or Bob Roop or somebody like that and actually learning how to work, you knew shit was coming together for you. You were on the right track.
You had mentioned Tony Atlas first coming into you and pretty much trained Tony. What are your early memories of Tony? This was in the Carolinas too, I believe, right?
Right. George Scott called me in the office and he's like, Larry, I got a guy that I want to break into business. He's a Virginia State champion. I know you know how to wrestle. Would you mind working with him? And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I mean, what are you going to say to the boss?
Right.
I ain't doing it. I'm going to stay home and watch soap operas. So, we trained at the Charlotte YMCA. They had a mat room up there. And the only thing I didn't like a lot of times, when it was him and I one-on-one, it was fine. But Gene and Ole Anderson would go up there, and they would beat the living shit out of him.
You would see that. You would witness
that. I witnessed that. And he'd be a rag doll, and then they'd, sick me on him.
Right.
Which wasn't fair to him. To me, I just want to keep my job,
So you did what you were told.
Yeah, I did what I was told. But, I mean, one-on-one with Tony, I never really had that opportunity. I'm sure he would have been a formidable opponent, but who knows?
Right. Did you see that a lot with the old guys, the veterans? Because was Tony a paying student at all, or was he a guy that they saw potential in?
No, they just saw potential in him. And, but there was no easy way in the business then. You had to beat the shit out of everybody that wanted to be a wrestler.
Right. You wanted to, prove that.
Which is what happened to me.
Right.
I got the shit beat out of me.
And today it's a totally different sport, and we'll talk about that coming up, definitely.
Sure.
Did you know about Tony's foot fetish, or did that come later in life?
Well, somebody tells you they got a foot fetish. Right. Who cares?
Right.
As long as it's not with me, he can have it all he wants.
There you go. I was going to ask you if you ever touched your feet, but I know he's into the girls' feet. Going back to wrestling and your schedule, you had talked about going to Puerto Rico in around 88 or 89, and you retired the week before Brody was murdered. What made you get out of the business? Was it just time?
No, I didn't retire. I got fired. Remember, I didn't do the job for Gonzalez.
Right,
so
but I thought that's what led you to. I thought you said you got out of the business.
Well, when I came home, what happened was I finished up in Puerto Rico, and I came home, and I was wondering what I was going to do. And my dad had always pushed me you should open up a school. You should open up a school. And I was like, that means you're washed up. And there was no schools back then.
Right.
There were no schools at all. I don't know what made me think that. I should have listened to my old man a lot more than I did. I can tell you that over the years. But anyway, I get a phone call from Buddy Rogers. And Buddy says, Larry, I hear you're home. I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, listen, my son David wants to get into business. And he's got a few friends that want to get into business. I can't get in there and show him what you can get in there and show him, but I can teach him the psychology. What do you think of the two of us opening up a school and you can train my son? Well, you know, if it wasn't for Buddy Rogers, I wouldn't even wanted to be a wrestler.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what was your relationship with Buddy? Because you guys had a long relationship.
Yeah, it was good. You know, he was a very smart man, and there just comes times when you just got to show respect. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that there was times that he didn't deserve it, but there was times that we could have had some differences in opinion, and I just bowed to the king.
Right. A lot of people say he was very hard to get along with. Did you sense that at
I
all?
never found that.
Okay.
I never found that.
Okay. What was the best piece of advice that Buddy gave to you? Do you remember?
Oh, I would have to think a while about that. I can remember the funniest thing that he ever told me.
What's that?
When I was training his son, David, he said, if you took a hatchet, Larry, and hit my kid right in the middle of the head and split it open, a cunt would fall out of one side and a dumbbell would fall out of the other. Because that was the only two things on his mind.
That's all.
I know. But he called it like he saw it. I mean, Buddy loved him, don't get me wrong, but Buddy was very, very frustrated because, like, when I was training David, Fern Gagne came to me. That's when they were running Totowa and stuff up in North Jersey.
Okay.
He's running towns, and he's like, Larry, as soon as you got David ready, let me know. I'll use him, blah, blah, blah. And David just basically come and said, look, I'm going to inherit the mother load. I don't want to take bumps, and I'm not going to take bumps. I'm done.
So he wasn't even cut for the business. He
No.
just wanted out of it.
Right.
What year was this around? 80 what?
I was around 84.
84?
Yeah.
Okay. So as far as like opening up the wrestling school, what year did that actually happen? Because that was the late 80s, right? The Matcha Factory.
No, that was in the mid-'80s.
Was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was in the mid-'80s. But the first school I had was right here in Paulsboro when I trained Bundy, but it wasn't the Monster Factory. It was just,
Okay, because I thought the school didn't open up until after Puerto Rico, which was like Brody got murdered, 88 in July?
Yeah, no, the school was already open, and I was having to fly home from there and
Okay.
from Nashville to take care of the school every once in a while.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.